Good morning, everybody. Welcome to State Adventures. My name is Carolina Gilcapi, and I am helping the Elite Dance and Travel Studio host a trip to Argentina and Brazil in March of 2023. So for everyone who has been to the presentation at the studio, thank you so much for being there and hearing all about the trip. But I thought it would also help to jump on here, share my screen, and go through the itinerary with everyone else that is still interested in joining us. So let me share my screen here, and we'll go right into the presentation so you can see what the trip is all about. So just a little bit about State Adventures. I have been specializing in Latin America since 2006. I've been to Latin America 33 times. It is my life's passion to share everything that this beautiful continent has to offer. And State Adventures creates private tours. We curate everything according to our clients. So everything is handpicked for you, the hotels, the experiences, and we're really into culinary anthropology, where we share the local food with you so we can learn about the culture of the place through food. So on every trip that you ever travel with us, you will never go hungry. We really take food and wine quite seriously. We're licensed and bonded. We are available 24/7. We're located in Palm Coast, Florida. And in every country that we offer, which is over 30, we have partner offices there available 24/7. So you're never alone, but it is not a group departure in the sense that you're joining a busload of people doing the same itinerary, doing cookie cutter experiences. We really try to provide a sophisticated experience for you. So what does the Argentina and Brazil trip include? It really doesn't start the day we fly to Argentina. It starts 6 weeks earlier, where Magda will put together some magical events every week at the studio. We're gonna learn some steps for tango and samba. We're gonna learn all about the culture and some practical sessions, how to pack, how to prepare, what to expect when we go to a milonga. We're really going to come together for 6 weeks so that we can get to know our little group that travels together with the Elite Studio. So the day-by-day itinerary will begin on March 4th. On March 4th, we're going to take an overnight flight to Argentina. We're going to start in Buenos Aires. I put a map on here so you kind of get a gist of where we're going. We're going to start in Buenos Aires, then we'll go to Iguazu Falls and end in Rio. The flight is an overnight flight, and if you are traveling from Palm Coast, we can choose Jacksonville or Orlando. It has one stop, and then you arrive in the morning in Buenos Aires. There are many options. I am licensed to issue airfare, so I would be more than happy to help everyone with their flights. And when you arrive, what to expect? You're going to see a big State Adventure sign when you land. You have a friendly local guide who's going to be assisting us throughout. And then the good thing about traveling to South America is that the time zone is only 1 hour difference from East Coast. So there is no jet lag. You arrive and you're on the same time zone, and it's quite wonderful to travel that way because you're not exhausted for the first 2 or 3 days of your trip. The weather is also on our side here, where March happens to be winter for us, but it is summer in South America, below the equator. So it really helps because it will be very mild. It's one of my favorite times to travel to South America. When we arrive, our private car is going to take us to our hotel. We're going to freshen up, and then our guide, the same guide who will be with us for the duration of the time in Buenos Aires, will start taking us around the city so we kind of get a feel for the city. We're going to focus on the north, which is Recoleta and Palermo, beautiful neighborhoods, stunning parks. We're going to have some time to stretch our legs. We're going to go to Giela Cafe, which is one of the oldest coffee shops in Buenos Aires, to have some treats, get some energy going. And then we're going to end with lunch at La Cabrera. And La Cabrera is one of the best steakhouses in Buenos Aires. It is fantastic. When we sit there, we happen to be usually the only tourists. It's all local families enjoying a beautiful meal. We'll go to the hotel, rest, and then we will take a walk about 4 blocks away from the hotel to the Payena Hotel, which is home to the Rojo Tango. It is the best tango show in town. Very intimate, very beautiful, all about details, which is exactly what Magda and I are all about as well. So it fits our group and it starts us on this beautiful high-end note for the night. Here's some photos of Palermo, Recoleta Cemetery, where Evita is buried. We will be visiting her. The Pink House, which is just a few blocks away from our hotel, and the introduction to Argentinian beef, which will follow us throughout this trip. But there are many options of food throughout Argentina. There's a big influence of Italian food, of French food here. So if you are vegan, vegetarian, or have any restrictions, do not worry. We can accommodate everybody because we plan way in advance. We know the chefs, we know the guides. We will make sure the menu is ready for everybody. Here's just a glimpse into Rojo Tango. You can see how gorgeous it is, how intimate and small it is. We are really part of the show here. And the hotel is Hotel Madero. It's a 5-star property right in Puerto Madero, which is a really lively neighborhood on the river, literally across the bridge from La Boca and the main square. And just on the opposite side of the river is a strip of restaurants, and just down a few blocks is the Rojo Tango. So it's a really great location. Day 3, we wake up, have breakfast, and all of our hotels will always include breakfast. We'll do some workshops with Magda. At every hotel that we will stay at, I have rented a ballroom or some kind of dance floor so that we can do some morning exercises, morning warm-ups with steps. We can practice some tango, learn something new from Magda so that we can start off on a right foot before our guide comes and takes us all around Buenos Aires, the south part. And the south part is that colorful, rich in history area of La Boca and San Telmo, and just a really great place to walk around. And we will end the tour with a beautiful lunch in the bodegon. The bodegon is a old house that's been redone into a restaurant. So it's really a great place where the chairs might not match, and there's photos of families on the wall, and it's like tied in there, and little grandmas running around with plates, and it's just very charming. And I want you to experience different levels of meals throughout the trip. Sometimes we will be eating at high-end restaurants, and sometimes we'll be eating at a really intimate little places like this. So it's a great combo. We'll go back to the hotel, we'll freshen up, maybe enjoy the pool, and then we'll go have a tango lesson. In Buenos Aires, I have been selling Buenos Aires for 16 years and I've been working with this team for 16 years. And we partner with Carolina Bonaventura. She is one of the best tango teachers and dancers in Buenos Aires. So she agreed to lead a beautiful lesson at her studio. This photo is actually at her studio. And then she will take us to a milonga, which is where local people go to dance. So here's just a picture of San Telmo, which we will spend the day there. You will see people dancing in the streets and lots of people selling their crafts and antiques. It's just you never know what to see, what to expect in San Telmo. And here's a picture of one of the bodegons that we ate at our last trip. And this is Carolina Bonaventura. She is a fantastic teacher, and she will join us at Milonga, which is a really authentic way to see local people dance their moves of tango, but also for us to practice. At this point, we would have had six weeks of classes with Magda, a few classes in Argentina, and so we will be ready to show up what we know. And then, what to expect. Well, what shoes should I bring and how should I pack? Besides all of the workshops that we're going to have to tackle all these topics so that you are ready, discuss what money you bring, where to exchange, we will also incorporate little stops along the way of the trip where if you want to buy tango shoes or tango hats for our gentlemen, There's wonderful little tango stores throughout Buenos Aires, and I will be more than happy to accompany you to them so that you can bring some really fantastic souvenirs home. I have gorgeous handmade shoes that I brought home. The next day, we're going to sleep in a little bit, have breakfast, and leave the city for the day to kind of get that moment. You know, the city's busy, really lively, so it's a really good idea to get a taste of what is life like in Argentina outside of Buenos Aires. We're going to spend a day at Estancia El Ombu, visit a really small, charming village, then go into the ranch, have a gorgeous alfresco picnic lunch. We can horseback ride, we can ride horses, we can go on a hike here. There's lots of little places to just really enjoy. There's a pool, so a really wonderful estancia experience. We'll spend the day there, come back to Buenos Aires, freshen up, and tonight I'll take you on a speakeasy experience. So here's just a glimpse of what the estancia looks like. This literally was our table. The local ranchers, we'll get to see them play their music, dance. They'll invite us to dance and learn some folkloric steps. So it's not all about tango and samba on this trip. We really will get to get a feel for what Argentina is all about. We'll taste some beautiful local cuisine. Empanadas is kind of a highlight of our trip here. We're going to see and eat empanadas throughout this trip. And the speakeasy tour is secret bars that are hidden throughout Buenos Aires. So I really love this picture on top because it really shows you what a State Adventures trip is all about and how many people are involved. So in the center here is me, who puts together all the details of this trip. Behind us is one of our wonderful guides who will stay with us throughout the trip. The gentleman in the mask is our driver. He will take care of our van or bus. He will take care of our luggage. He will always be there for us whenever we need transportation. And then I also hire local experts. So for this particular trip, because we're going into these fun little secret bars, we will hire a local bartender who has worked throughout Buenos Aires, knows all the secret spots and all the fun cocktails, and he will join us to accompany, to really help us make this trip beautiful. And that's, when you think about who is going to guide us, that's what you can expect. Local people who have grown up in the cities, who know the restaurants and all the wonderful spots. They are educated and licensed. They're very professional, and most importantly, they're very passionate. And we have, besides guides, we have chefs that we hire, and bartenders, and dance teachers, and drivers. There are so many people involved behind the scenes to make sure your trip is perfection. And day 5, we wake up, we do some workshops with Magda, and then we'll do a little bit of a different neighborhood in Buenos Aires, where a local chef will take us to markets where people will shop, and you will see like the butcher, the fish guy, the dairy guy will buy all the ingredients and go to his private professional kitchen where we will cook together a beautiful Buenos Aires style lunch. We will enjoy it there, and then we will zip back to the hotel, refresh, and we will have another tango lesson. But this time, I think we're going to do something different. We're not going to go to a studio to learn a professional lesson. Instead, we're going to go to a tango show, a theater. So we will have a beautiful table that we will be watching the professional dancers dance on stage, sort of like Rojo Tango, but on a different level. And the teachers or the dancers who are on the stage will also be our teachers. So first we're going to get there when the theater is still closed. We'll dance with the dancers, learn a few steps, really get excited about the tango, and then have a beautiful dinner while we watch them dance on stage. It's a fantastic kind of behind the scenes experience for us. And that night, fired up with all our tango lessons, we'll go to another milonga so we can continue enjoying nightlife from Buenos Aires. Here's just a picture of us cooking with our beautiful chef and that wonderful table that we have VIP right in front of the stage. One of our classes here with Magda. She is just a fantastic teacher herself. And then the next day is our travel day. our flight to Iguazu Falls is always midday or in the afternoon. So I always try to incorporate something before our flight so that we don't have that gap between checking out of the hotel and our transfer to the airport. So we're going to head back to San Telmo, which is that colorful neighborhood. We're going to go inside into their San Telmo market. It's a fantastic little market full of little stands and shops. And really, you can buy silver jewelry here, but you can also buy empanadas and you can buy a fish or you can buy furniture. So it's a really a mismatch of things, but in between, there are wonderful little tables set up. So we will enjoy this table and our guide will just run around to all the food stands and bring all this wonderful food for us to taste. Little snacks, really handheld foods, and then Buenos Aires beer. So we will have a fun little lunch here before we fly to Iguazu Falls. Once we arrive to Iguazu Falls, everything changes. We will be in the jungle. This is the tropics. It is a stunning place. It's at the edge of the Amazon jungle, so there's a lot of indigenous communities here. So when we settle into our hotel, I will take you into the jungle itself for an evening experience where one of the communities will come from the villages to perform some of their music. We'll have a big bonfire. It's just a really lovely introduction to the area. Here's just a photo of that fun market that we're going to have lunch in before we fly out. And here's just the experience where we will have dinner. So it starts off with a bonfire, meeting the local community, playing with the kids. There's so much fun and so excited for us to be there. And then right in the middle of it, there's a little restaurant and we will have dinner. And I really like to call this luxury in the jungle because there's literally a harp player amongst the canopies with us. So just so well done. And our hotel in the jungle is Hotel Mercure. Really fun property, great pool, one of the best pools in Iguazu Falls. At night, there's live music, there's a bar right by the pool over here. So really fun atmosphere. It's all lit up with beautiful lights and the rooms are very comfortable as well. And day 7 and day 8 will be dedicated solely to Iguazu Falls. So on day 7, we will tackle the Argentina side. It's a huge park. We can spend all day there and not see everything, but we will ride the train through the park. We will see the falls from the top. We will climb down to the bottom so the falls are above us. We will ride a boat underneath and get completely drenched. It's a really fun park, beautiful park, really warm weather. This is summer, so we will have a really beautiful time here. And then tonight, really casual, we'll have a little hands-on dinner and cocktail where we participate. It's a very interactive experience. Here's just some photos from our last trip to Iguazu Falls. And I really want to drive it home that Iguazu Falls is a wonder of the world. It should be on everyone's bucket list. It is a phenomenal destination. I mean, if you've been to Niagara Falls, you're going to be like, oh, wow, that was nothing. Iguazu Falls is stunning, and we are really excited to take you there. And here's our little hands-on interactive class where we will have a full-on meal, but we will participate. Maybe we'll make some empanadas. Maybe we'll mix a drink. Maybe we'll learn how to make a proper mate. It was one of our favorite evenings. Following day, we're going to focus on the Iguazu Falls on the Brazil side. So we are crossing the border. Another wonderful thing about traveling with State Adventures and my partners is that we take care of all those logistics. Most of the time, we don't even need to get out of the car when we're crossing borders. Our guide will take our passports to get stamps, get everything in order, and we will arrive on the Iguazu Falls. And Iguazu Falls on the Brazil side is really wonderful because you see all the falls at once. So the day before, we were doing little pockets of the park, and here we're going to see a panoramic view of everything, all the park at once, and it's really stunning. Once we arrive to Rio, which is about an hour and a half flight, maybe 2 hours, we will, again, change settings. Now we're in a beach setting. Now it's a party atmosphere. It's really lively here. It's one of the most busiest cities in South America, and for a reason, because everyone wants to have a piece of Rio. So tonight we're going to have we're going to switch from tango to samba, and I'm going to invite one of our samba trios to join us. They're going to perform for us, play some music. We're going to have a wonderful welcome dinner, and you would really feel like, okay, now I'm in Brazil. Here's the Iguazu side on the Brazil side, and Rio. And so this is one of the classes that, or one of the groups that we know in Rio that performs. So if you think about Carnival in Rio and all that wonderful performances and atmosphere, party atmosphere, it is in fact a competition. So all year long, these groups work on their floats and work on their moves and costumes because they are performing and competing in Carnival. And at the end, there's a winner. So one of these groups could be the winner. So when we're there in March, they will be freshly after the February Carnival. So they will have lots of stories and just everything is just so fresh in their mind, and the atmosphere is still a party atmosphere. It's a great time to go. And so our hotel will be the Hilton. And I usually don't like chain hotels, but I chose this one for the location. They're right on Copacabana. It's really great. We can enjoy the beach right across the street. It's a fresher hotel, where in Rio, it's a touch and go because they're always busy. They're always full. So hotels don't have a lot of time for renovations. So you really want to be careful about choosing properties to make sure that they have been refreshed in the past few years. Great rooftop. I mean, we can have drinks here, watch the sunset. Fantastic location. So day 9 will be dedicated to exploring Rio. And so Rio, like I mentioned, is a huge city, very congested. Traffic is a nightmare. So in the last few years, we've been designing the trips so that we can avoid being in the car as much as possible. So we're actually going to split the city in two. And on day 9, we're going to see the Corcovado side. This is where Christ the Redeemer is on the mountain. We'll, of course, go all the way to the top. And then we're going to, do some cultural things. We're going to meet with the samba class. We're going to learn a few moves. We're going to beat some drums and learn the rhythm of Rio with local rock artists. Of course, we'll have a beautiful lunch. We chose a really fun restaurant that's on a racetrack, lots of history there. And then tonight, I'm going to take you to the scenario, which I'll tell you about in a second. So here's just a glimpse of Rio and where we will be today. A little bit of samba learning. And this is Scenario, which is by day an antique shop. You would go there to have a cup of tea, but by night, all the local artists come, they play live music, and people will come to people watch, have drinks, have a few snacks, and dance. So if we're comfortable dancing the samba, that dance floor is waiting for us. And then on day 10, we're going to continue seeing Rio de Janeiro. We're going to see Sugarloaf, which is this gondola ride to the top of the beautiful mountain, so we can have stunning views of the city again. We'll do a beautiful farewell lunch on the beach because I really want you to see Rio from all angles and have some, feet in the sand at least once before we take our evening flight home. So most flights from Rio to the United States are also overnight. So if we leave in the evening, we will have that whole day to really explore, and I want to make sure we don't leave 1 minute wasted. And of course, at the hotel, we'll have a dance floor, so we want to do morning workshops. Magda will always accommodate all kinds of lessons. Sometimes people want to have a private lesson. Sometimes we do a group workshop. So you organize all of that with Magda. She is available for all of our dancers for whatever it is that you need. Day 11, we're on our flight home, and day 11, you will arrive back in Florida. So that is what the trip looks like. And I hope that you are ready to join us. We have a number of people already signed up. We are planning for a group of about 14, but no more than 20. I'm holding about 9 rooms at the moment. This is one of the busiest times. I have never seen South America this busy, especially Argentina. So sooner is better than later to confirm, because we will run out of rooms. So just to recap, 6 weeks of a tango program in Palm Coast. Elite teachers will join us on the trip. You will have all of our local guides, dance teachers, chefs, drivers, and so forth. The transportation, the tours, the logistics, the entry tickets, permits, all of that is included. Local flights to Iguazu and Rio are of course included, the taxes, luggage, all of that. Of course, the hotels with breakfast and taxes. Any meals that I've mentioned on this presentation are included. And of course, Save Adventures behind the scenes, 24 hours, we are available. The trip is published at $74.99 per person, but we are offering a Magda special here where she wanted the trip to be exactly the same cost as last year. So the trip is $69.99 per person, but we are going to run out of spaces. So please let me know if you are interested and we will get you signed in. The deposit to confirm is $500 and the balance will be split between two payments before we depart. What's not included are international flights. I was looking at Orlando this morning. They are about $800 to fly from Orlando, and you would stop in Miami and then continue. Travel insurance, you should have travel insurance to arrive in Argentina. They require it. I can help you. I am licensed to issue Alliance travel insurance. I want to say it's about $400. A few meals that were not specified are not included, like sometimes we don't include dinner, mainly because our lunches are so big. It's a huge spread. We've decided that it's just too much to include every meal, but we are there. And if we want to go out to dinner, we will go with you. And of course, personal expenses when we go shopping and things like that are on your own. And then tipping. We've done a really good job with the last group where we organized every day, like, oh, we're having this lunch, we're going to tip $2 each or something like that. So it's not a huge expense. So in order to arrive to Argentina and Brazil, you either choose to bring your vaccination card or you have to be PCR tested. So either way, the unvaccinated and vaccinated clients are easy to travel with. You need your passport, so glance over your passport, make sure you still have at least a year on it. Of course, the travel insurance that I mentioned, but no other shots, no other visas. It's quite easy to visit both countries. If you have any questions, please give me a call. I will share my phone number and my email with you so that you can reach me anytime. You can text, you can WhatsApp me, whatever it is that works best for you. We can get on a Zoom and discuss it in detail. But we are more than happy to welcome you to Argentina and Brazil. It's going to be another phenomenal experience. And thank you so much for listening to this whole presentation. I'm going to stop my sharing right now and I will send this over to you. And I look forward to chatting. Happy travels.